What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Get Off My Lawn. It is a bi-weekly show where myself and one Captain Xavier talk about everything foam-flinging related. We talk about mods, we talk about blasters, we talk about aches and pains. Why? Because we're old dudes and we can do this. It's our show. It is called Get Off My Lawn. What does that mean? If you don't like it, you can get off my lawn. In the meantime, we are part of the World Foam Alliance. The World Foam Alliance YouTube channel is the one you're watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Please like and subscribe. Can you tell there's a theme here? Like and subscribe, and feel free to share the stream as much as you can. The whole purpose of the World Foam Alliance, there are so many of you out there that do this, that nerf, that foam fling, that make things. What is our mission? What is our goal? To connect people. The more we can connect, it's amazing how many people you don't even realize are in your backyard. You don't just have to have a Nerf war with your neighbors. You don't have to just sit there and like shoot the wall by yourself and wish, man, if there's only other people here. There are people there. There are groups and clubs near you. We actually try to connect you, and that is what our mission is. And by liking and subscribing, it grows the channel. It spreads our reach, which means we can do more. Also, we make no money on it. Anything we might actually make, we can actually put back into it. So don't think this is a money grab. Yeah, not even close. We're just a bunch of people that think this is necessary and enjoy what we're doing. So let's just do it and make it happen. Foamalliance.org. Don't forget to go to it and register as well. We are currently developing the site. More is to come, but remember at the same time, it's not like we have a budget. We do it on the backs of some wonderful people that can do what they can do when they have time. But we are moving forward and we are building. In other news, I am recently back from Chicago, finished the Fan Expo series with Dart Zone this year. It was an amazing year. I can't tell you how many people I got to see and meet, people from local clubs, never mind new people that will be showing up to clubs. The one thing I can confidently say, even though we don't have firm confirmation as to which ones, Dart Zone will be on the road again next year for Fan Expo. And when that happens, man, again, if you have a club and you know once we release the list of cities we're going to be in, if you let us know that you have a club or you're in that area, let us know. That way we can tell people. When you have a giant inflatable booth where people shoot stuff and they realize there are actual Nerf wars in their community, they want to find out about it. What does that mean? They ask me. What do I do then? I tell them about your club, where you're from, and how they can find you. Hence, the community grows. Now, other than that, I don't think I have too much new with what I'm doing. The usual, trying to build stuff. I'm now recovering from conventions. And again, just trying to sort out my basement workshop. It looks good here, but we're not going to zoom around to see the other catastrophe that it is. In the meantime, also on the show, we do have another person. Again, Captain Xavier, what's shaking, brother? What's going on, man?
I've been ratted out. Not a whole lot. I did get to go to one of the fan expos, kind of a last minute. Hey, if I can get myself to Denver, can I come slum it with the Dart Zone boys? And they said sure. So I got to help run that. I got to be a booth babe. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun. 4 days was a lot, especially in the thin air of Denver. I thought I was just getting particularly old, and then I remembered, oh yeah, no, there's no oxygen here. I am in fact dying. But it was good times, good food, good company, lots of cool costumes, loads of fun. I'm hoping they do Denver again next year. If they do, I will volunteer to go again next year. I am pretty much done with big events this year. I have opted not to attend RAG for a variety of reasons. I was planning to go to Mall Madness, but it has tragically been canceled for various reasons. So there will not be a Mall Madness this year. Tragically, I will not get to hunt zombies in a mall, which does make me sad, but I will continue to host the events that we have here, Fort Borst, help out at waffle events where I can. I've almost finished upgrading my personal arena, so I'll be able to host events, hopefully 1 or 2 events before the weather goes to the monsoon season here in the rainforest I live in. But I've been enjoying all the new blasters that have been coming out. I got my hands on the Dart Zone Venom, got kits for that. I got the Striker Mark 2.0. I got a kit for that. I got the Maxim. I got 2 of the Maxim. I haven't taken them out of the box. I do plan to play with them. I've got an SBL 2.0 coming. I've apparently got a Rush coming, which I didn't even know was a thing. Looks super cool. Yeah. I've got a big fancy blast I need to build. I've only had it for like 3 or 4 years. Still haven't gotten around to building it. I plan to build that. That's the new.
That is not too bad. Well, the one thing I want to do before you and I, just to give people a heads up, if you're tuning in because you heard that we have a special guest today and you want to make sure you're in the right place, you are in the right place. And for those of you that have been living under a rock and do not know, we do have one Aaron Esser on tonight with us. He will be joining us shortly. So you are in the right place. Just hang tight. Let the man get some food and drink. Don't worry, he'll be here soon, man. Let the man finish his coffee and do his thing. Don't worry. We'll keep you entertained in the meantime. But just to give
we got to
an
get our
update
rambles out so we don't, bore him with our rambling when he gets here.
That's right.
And of course, a call-in show. Hopefully, by the time he gets here, we will have the numbers set up so you can call in. In the meantime, feel free to ask questions in the comments. Al, can you see the comments? I'd have to.
No, I am now currently trying to pull up the chat, and my laptop has decided to make my life difficult. So I know people are there, and I know you all are wonderful. But as soon as I can read them, I will happily answer and address as many as we can. Yay, technology, wonderful as it is. I guess the big thing coming up, if anyone does not know, and I know it's been reached out to me. So I guess the next major event coming up will be Ragnarok Octoberfest, or as it's affectionately called, RAG. Now, as much as we think, well, that's in the fall, and then you come to realize that August is about out, and it's only, I think 6 weeks away, 6 or 7 weeks away. So if you are sitting on the fence or haven't decided or just can't wait for it, Ragnarok Octoberfest is happening in about 6 to 7 weeks. Considering it, however, my year has been a heavy travel one, so I don't know if I can. So I will not commit to it, but at the same time, on an outside chance, because you just never know sometimes where life will take you. I may go, I may not. But if you've been sitting on the fence and if you've been wondering if you should or shouldn't go, you might want to act on that soon because, man, it's September in 10 days.
Yeah, and RAG is an awesome event. It's on the same scale, more or less, as Maryland Mayhem. They do their HVZ very differently than most because it is a humans versus humans versus humans versus zombies. So there are 3 teams of humans fighting each other while the zombie apocalypse is happening, which, let's be honest, is definitely what would happen in a real zombie apocalypse. Humans would start fighting each other for resources almost immediately. And so that is what the first couple hour or so of the event is: fighting over resources, gathering ammunition, gathering MacGuffins, resurrections, tools, whatever. And then usually by the end, all the teams end up having to unify against a common big boss. And they put on a spectacular show. Like the boss last year, the whole event was pirate themed. So the boss was a giant kraken that had tentacle arms that were trying to attack people. And it had light up targets that had sensors. So you had to hit each target a certain number of times. And it actually had a health bar that actually was lit up and that would count down as you hit it. It's a really high production thing. All like zombie tags and whatnot are tracked through RFID chips in your event token. They then also do a full tournament, and the tournament is live streamed. They've got, again, really fancy setup. They've got buckets that talk to each other and are all networked, and so it keeps track of the score. The whole thing is live streamed. You can see what the score is while it's happening, and know who's going to win or who's currently winning, or see the big comeback happen. They've got it. They do interviews with all the team captains and various notable people that show up. It's an awesome event. And then they also do a con, the convention with all the merchants show up. Out of Darts will certainly be there. Silver Fox will be there. X Fox will probably be there. So you can buy stuff in person, save on shipping. They almost always have blasters that are specifically built for HVZ, so you can use them the next day. They have tournament built blasters. They also then do a Nerf war, just a public have fun war. So it's a heck of an event. And it's the premier event on the West Coast for sure. But there are more that are growing, and that's one of the beautiful, beautiful things is that in recent years, there are more and more events on that scale. There used to only be the one. It was End War. You went to End War, or that was it. That was the only one. Now you got Maryland Mayhem. You've got Survival Fest. You've got RAG. You've got multiple events, and more are getting created. You got APOC, BPOC, Armageddon. All these large scale events. Someday we'll get one up here in the Pacific Northwest. especially, I mean, all the people that sponsor half of these events live up here. You'd think we'd have our own event by now, but we can't be bothered. We just sponsor
Apparently,
other people to host the events for us.
You need an organizer, man. You need someone to sit there and say, "Come on, man! Like, really, people? This is easy."
Yeah,
You're right there, man. Well, like, come on, man. Maybe that's what we'll do. Hashtag, if you're an event organizer, if this is what you do, hashtag let's get the Pacific Northwest organized. Send your checks and money orders made out to Let's Fix the Pacific Northwest. If you want to see an event out there, just send checks and we will happily pay someone to fix it for them because that'd be great. Yeah.
But that is one of the other goals of the World Foam Alliance, and we talked about what our purpose is connecting people, but also eventually helping run and host big events. We want to do our own tournament league kind of thing. We want to do big HVZ invitationals. We want to do that sort of thing, and that requires us to grow and to expand and have all the connections and all of that. So, as we say, like, share, tell your friends, register on the website worldfoamalliance.org. Not planning to go to RAG. That one, just for various reasons, I was done with travel for the year. The last 2 years, I traveled so much, I just fried myself and my budget. So, if you can go, Al, if that is remotely possible, if perhaps a mysterious benefactor offers you the opportunity to get down there, absolutely take it. It's an event worth going to. And if not, you should come visit me and drag Anthony with you. Is it Anthony? I can't tell. There's an Andrew and an Anthony. Their names are too similar. Right?
So yeah, RAG is definitely on my list. If I can make it this year, I will. I cannot commit to that just yet. If not, that's definitely going to happen where it's either coming to you or going to RAG. If you're not going to RAG, it's probably going to you. So at some point, I will be in the Pacific Northwest in the sprawling metropolis that is one Vader, Washington. So that's going to happen, and we'll have more details actually when we execute that. And yeah, especially we can drag Anthony Maritime Foam, and then the Bearded MacGuffins will reunite for our second appearance in terms of our concert tour where we sing nothing. We just take pictures and pretend like we look like we're somebody, and then we'll do stuff and hopefully remember to post stuff. Yeah.
So there's a comment here. I feel like a good way to sense darts electronity is to find a method to measure specific thumps as a way of sort of vibration sense on the equipment. Orange Modworks was actually planning to do something kind of like this. And I got to see the prototypes years ago at RAG. I think it was 2018 or 2019, where they were going to do RFID sensors in the darts.
Wow.
And then you would have a vest that would have the RFID or the RFID chips in the darts. And then you would have an RFID sensor on you. And so if the dart got close enough to you, it would register as a tag. And the blaster would be able to register, the blaster would impart information onto the darts as they were fired, who fired it. And then you'd be able to tell who tagged who from, you could even do distances, who tagged who from what distance, be able to tell you your hit miss ratio, your kill death ratio, all of this information would have been able to have been tracked. And then there was a plague, so nothing ever came of it.
Plagues generally do that. They kind of stop a lot of things.
It was such a cool concept because they were going to be AEBs too. So they were going to be electronic springers. They were going to have to require a slightly shorter than standard half dart, which some people were kind of like, well, that's a bummer. We either have to modify our darts, so you could only use their darts. Obviously, you'd have to use their darts if you wanted all of the advantages of the electronic system. But if you just wanted a nice AEB, and their reason had to do with diminishing returns of the system that powers an AEB, the gear ratio and the amount of power. And I don't know if that would be an issue now, because now we got AEBs that hit 300 FPS out of the box. So obviously they've fixed that threshold.
Just a little bit. Oh, you know what we should share with people? Well, at conventions, they've seen this sign. Not that many, but you've seen us post this picture.
Yes.
And there are videos of one Captain Xavier. Yeah, we should. Yeah, see.
We've got uniforms now.
We have uniforms. Now you're probably wondering, where can I buy this? I would love to say that we designed it and you can send us money and we can send you shirts and therefore we can actually make some money. But no, that didn't happen. Thank you, Amazon. We got to get off my lawn shirts off of Amazon. One day we'll have our own, but in the meantime, yeah, man, we got shirts, sort of, kind of. You know.
I didn't know there was a Fan Expo Portland. That's an hour away from me. I would definitely like to attend Fan Expo. I don't know if Dart Zone is going to be attending. If Dart Zone attends, I will happily attend with them because I could day trip it. It would be lovely.
I'm going to guess that one is a no in terms of preliminary list, just because, again, Fan Expo, I think there's like 14 of them. So hashtag send Captain Xavier without Dart Zone. Yes, he'll be there.
We haven't because we have only we don't wear these shirts in public because we've only owned them for 2 days. So I haven't been in public since I got this shirt.
I wore it home. So I'm driving back. Oh, that's the other thing. So when Chicago Fan Expo was done, myself, we were driving in the Dart Zone truck and pulling the trailer that says Dart Zone on the back of it. And we actually we look over the side and there was a woman with a big smile on her face, and she had a brand new in the box Omnia. She made sure to pull up and show us that she bought it because she recognized the trailer. I can't remember if I sold that to her or not, but either way, she had a brand new Omnia, and that was somewhere in the middle of Indiana on the highway. And I was wearing a shirt, but she couldn't see the shirt. But I got a lot of laughs from some old ladies at the rest stop about my shirt, and were asking where I bought it from.
Good shirt.
I know.
I had a lot of fun scaring people with the "Get Off My Lawn" sign at Fan Expo. Absolutely scandalized one little group of cosplayers. It was quite hilarious.
Not that we do that.
No, certainly not. We're very friendly and jovial old men, and we look like it too.
Oh yeah, we do not look like threatening old grumpy people. No, never. Well, anyways, no. Part I want to touch on to just as we shift into it, and again, I can't see chat because I might throw my laptop through the wall. Yeah, I might do that. So that'll be part of the new episode where Al just trashed the laptop. So, but in the meantime, just to give, I'd like to give a little bit of background in terms of who we have on the show today. So if you obviously, what we talked about is a lot of the modding community and everything else. But again, our whole hobby is just so many things, like the cosplayers, never mind the guys that do like the videos and things like that. So the best thing about Aaron Esser is if you don't know who he is, go find him on YouTube. He only has, just north of about 9 million followers, and you can climb up from here to rock and go find it. But the best thing is that what he shoots is so much fun. And I think he's used almost everything. Like we can have a talk because he's been doing this so long. And again, we all know Captain Xavier has the wall of fame of blasters. I think Aaron has used every single one, whether he knows it or not. But the best thing about him, he does so many videos, and you can just tell, you see it in his work, that he loves doing it. The joy in that he has doing it, he's been doing it for years. He's featured my blasters. He's featured other people's blasters. So today, like, he probably won't be able to answer modding questions and stuff like that. But that's the best part about it, and just kind of proves what we're talking about. You don't have to know how to mod a blaster. You don't have to know what FPS and what certain cages and the proper crush that you should have on flywheels, and never mind the voltage and everything else like that. Yeah, we're not here to try to exclude you or point at you and say you don't know what you're talking about. This is the whole point. The great thing about what we do is that it includes so many people from so many things, and it doesn't matter how much you know or what you know. As long as you love it, you are welcome, you are brought in, and you can love it as much as you want, hate it as much as you want. That's exactly what we do. So having him in today, especially never mind the different kinds of videos that he shoots, the different themes, the different ideas and topics, it is just so much fun. So I just want to give a background. I don't know if, Chayla, you got anything to add to that? Does that put you on the spot?
No, that about covers it. The the variety of the hobby is one of the things that I love about the hobby, and I try to be a part of as much of as I can. I do LARPing on private property where the blasters are required to look realistic. I do nerfing in public parks where they are absolutely not allowed to be realistic. I do humans versus zombies. I do tournaments. I do public nerf wars. I do a little bit of all of it because I find all of it to be fascinating and fun. But I understand that some people, there's only one part of it that even interests them, or they only have time or energy or money for one part of it, and they find the niche that works for them and they focus on that, and that's really, really cool to see, where they take it, because with just about anything, you get out of it what you put into it. And that's the nice thing, is you can get deep into it and have all this kind of lunacy, or you can go to Walmart and buy a blaster and go to a public war once a month. Whatever level you're comfortable with, whatever level you're interested in, it can be done. And what Aaron Esser does, he's got 9 million subscribers. Clearly, people enjoy what he's doing and enjoying how he nerfs and what he does for the community, and it shines a light on it, which is cool.
I'm one of those people.
What?
I said I'm one of those people, and not just because using my stuff. He could never use any of my stuff, and I still love what he does, man, because I think it's fun.
See what we got going on in the chat. If it weren't for his short films, I wouldn't be into the hobby. There you go. See? It's and again, there's obviously the motive of us reaching out is to hopefully have him maybe mention that we exist to his 9 million followers. That would be terribly handy for us. But also, I just want to talk to him. I haven't gotten to chat with him since I think the first Jared's Epic Nerf battle I went to was the only time I've actually met him in person, and I was a nobody at the time and was very loud.
You loud? No, come on.
Yeah.
You know what then? You know what then? We should stop at this point then. We should stop then, keeping, obviously you're ready to talk to him. And it's about that time where people are like, all right, well, these two old dudes shut up, man, and just put him on the show. So how about at this point, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have our guest on, and it's one Aaron Esser. Aaron, man, what's shaking, brother? How are you?
Hello. I'm doing very well. Happy to be here. Thanks, guys.
Aha! See, it's true. He is here.
I am here.
All right, well, Captain Shotgun has, of course, brought up the first question that we pretty much always ask anyone when we get on the channel. How did you get into this crazy hobby?
When I must have been like 10 years old, my mom came home with 10 big bad bows, the original, till this day, probably one of my all-time favorite Nerf blasters. And she found they were, at the time, they were like $30 a piece. And for some reason, they were on sale at Walmart for like $10 a piece. So she spent $100, got like 10 of them, and we used those things every weekend. Me and my buddies, me and my dad, we had all me and my sisters, just the family, just everyone. We would have all sorts of Nerf wars, and not just where you're shooting them around the house. We would actually have competitive games with them. We had at my house, we had 2 sets of stairs, one for the front part of the house and one for the back. So the one team would be upstairs and the other team would be downstairs, and we would have Nerf wars, especially around New Year's. We'd have a New Year's party, and all the kids would have a Nerf war from 7 at night to literally 1 in the morning. And that's all we would play for 6 hours straight. It was amazing. And so YouTube was this new thing in 2006, 2007. So I was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to start making YouTube videos because that's my dream. I want to be a filmmaker. I want to make videos. And I think my second video I made, I just told my buddy to come over. I was like, let's shoot a YouTube video. No idea what it was going to be about. And for some reason, we put the Nerf big bad bows in the video. And the next day, edited it, released it the next day. And a few months later, it went by, and the video had 10,000 views. And I was like, what the heck? 10,000 views. And then that's when I realized kids and people and audiences all over the world search the word Nerf, Nerf gun, Nerf blaster, Nerf war by the millions every day. And so that's how I got started. And then I kind of sat on that for about 5 years. I knew that there was this Nerf niche, and I made a couple videos here and there. But then about 5-6 years later, I had 1 or 2 other videos kind of take off a little bit better. And I actually finished my first year at college, and I was like, I'm not going to go back for the second year. I'm going to try making Nerf gun videos for a living. And luckily, the next year I didn't have to go back. So that's the basic synopsis. Oh, there's an alarm going off. It's not me. It's not me.
Okay, wait a minute. Save. I was gonna say, man. There you go. I was gonna say, dude, that must have been a fun experience because what every parent wants to hear. I'm sorry, you're stopping college to do what now?
Yeah, it was. I told my dad, I was like, I will go back the following year if it doesn't work this year. But he still wasn't happy with that. He was like, come on, do it as a hobby. Like, still go to school. Like, come on, do this. And we had a couple arguments about it. Nothing ever too heated. But I was like, no, Dad, I got to do this. I've got to try it. And I just lucked out, I guess. I don't know. Little bit of hard work and a lot of luck.
I'm guessing at this point he's over it now and has accepted this, and
Yes.
there's no more.
Yes, he says I definitely made the right decision now. Yes.
Dude, that's awesome. After listening to what you're saying, I was gonna say, man, yeah, can we come over for New Year's, man? Yeah, we're in for that, man. If you need more bodies for that is how you spend a New Year's. That'd be a lot of fun, man.
All of those big bad bros ended up breaking, and my dad threw them all out, which I was mad when I found out that he had done that because I was like, hey, we could have used the parts or like we could have fixed them. So a few years back, I went on eBay and bought every big bad bow that I could find, and spent like way more than $10, like my mom did like 15, 16, 17 years ago. I spent like, I don't even know, all sorts of different prices. Shipping was super expensive because all over the place. So I invested way too much money to get like another like 10 to 15 of these big bad bows. I took them apart, took the freaking little safety thing on the front of them off. That's super annoying. And yeah, now I have like 12 to 15 big bad bows sitting in a bin that they haven't been used too much in the last year, but every once in a while we pull them out and they get a bunch of use. So yeah, I still got the updated collection.
So I guess then, leading that, so again, obviously, so then, which I think people are dying to know, but then this is a great example of. So you never went to school then or like formal training in terms of video editing and things like that, or did you?
So I watched a lot of YouTube videos. That's where I learned most of my things. I used to be a big fan of Devin Supertramp, and I would watch all his behind-the-scene videos, every video he did. And he had just lots teaching about filmmaking and video making or editing. So that was like 10 years ago. And then I did go to school for digital photography, just in my hometown in Sarnia here at the community college. So I did get a 2-year degree in digital photography, which definitely helped. There was one video course on the second semester, which helped a bit. So, yeah, I think it definitely helped. And then when I actually went to school again for electrical engineering technology, and then that was what I dropped out of after the first year. So a little bit. And I've done a couple courses online. There's a really good course called Full-Time Filmmaker that you can do that costs a few $100s, and I did that entire course years ago, and that's an amazing course. So that really helped me as well.
Because I think that's what I wanted to get at is just that, because obviously when you look at your body of work in terms of how many followers you have, the quality of your videos and everything else like that, people's first reaction is like, well, I can never do that. I don't even want to try doing that. He probably went to school. He probably went to this. I get it all the time with my stuff. I'll never paint like you paint. So same idea. Neither of us went to school for what we do. Mm-hmm. But a lot of things are possible. If you have the desire, man, and you want to do it, just know you're going to fail, accept that you're going to fail, and then you'll succeed. Absolutely. Because how do you learn that the stove is hot, man? Touch it, learn that you burned it, then you figure it out, man. So that's why I wanted to get into that, which is just amazing. So again, if those of you at home, you can do it. No more excuses. Come on, man.
Absolutely. I'm sure your first 10 paint jobs on a Nerf blaster compared to the ones you have now, or you laugh at them and you're like, oh my gosh, that's horrible. And I look at my first like 10 videos and I'm like, oh my gosh, those, like, what was I thinking? But of course, I was a noob. I had no experience. I didn't know what I was doing. So that's everyone. You have to make 100 of whatever you're working on, and then you'll look back and you'll laugh at yourself, and that's the journey. You just have to do it.
Yeah, I don't sit down and just put the work in. I don't like talking about the internals of some of my early mods. They are they're scary. It's a wonder they didn't catch fire or blow up in my face.
What were you thinking back then, man? Come on.
I didn't have the tools. I didn't have the knowledge. A lot of the tools and the knowledge didn't even exist back then. And now I get to build things like my smart gun, which is just awesome.
Amazing.
Oh my God, it really is.
You guys are making me look bad because I'm not in the studio with all the Nerf blasters. I got these like white walls in the background, and you guys have all the Nerf blasters in the background.
It does look very sterile.
Yeah. Sterile. That's the word you used earlier. That's great.
Yeah.
I would disagree. If anything, this is actually planned marketing on our part, because as people are sitting there wondering that don't know, it's like, wait, what does he have? Well, that's the whole point, man. Go to his YouTube channel, subscribe, and then you'll see it all. In the meantime, This is just a taste of what you get. What does it cost you? Nothing. Go subscribe to his channel. Go check it out what it is, and then come back and tell us we're wrong. Come on, people.
By the way, the number is now up and running. If you want to call in and ask Aaron a question, you can at 979-500-2794. It'll pop up on the screen. And you'll get 3 minutes, and then we'll tell you to get off our lawn.
Correct.
We
Let's do it.
In the meantime,
so I guess once you started making them, was there like do you think there was a pinnacle moment where it was finally, I guess let me narrow that in. Was there a specific video where it went viral where you knew, all right, this is where I'm going, this is what I'm doing? And then I guess following that, or was it when you now I'm asking a bunch of questions. Let's start with the first one. Was there a pinnacle video where you went viral, where you knew, all right, I've made it, or this is good, and it kind of that moment where you get that boost that really encourages what you're doing. You're thinking, all right, I am not messing this up. I do think I know what I'm doing, and I can keep going.
Yeah, absolutely. There was kind of like 3 stages that made that happen for me. So I made my first Nerf first-person shooter video. I don't know, like 10, 11, 12 years ago or something. And that video came out and a few weeks went by, and I think that video started getting about 1,000 views a day. And so then I went to school for electrical engineering for the full year. And so after that year, I was like, okay, I got a video getting 1,000 views a day. About a year later, it was still doing that. So I went on my way. I took all the cash I had, went on Kijiji here where I am, or like it would be like Craigslist or like Facebook Marketplace, and found someone selling a bin of 50 Nerf blasters for like $300 or $400. Spent all my cash to buy these and was like, okay, I'm going to try to make my next first person shooter video with this. At the time, I was like, this might be the biggest mistake ever, but I took the risk and did it. Then that summer, I spent all my time invested into making this first person shooter video. That came out about the following weekend, started getting about 10,000 views a day. And I was like, okay, this is awesome. So I started making a little bit of money on that, actually, from that. And I, after like a couple months of that, decided to invest all of that into a GoPro. And I'd been sitting on this idea for Nerf gun game for a while. Obviously, big fan of Nerf, these Nerf first person shooter video ideas. And I used to always play gun game in Call of Duty. That was my like number one game mode that I would always play. So I had this idea to combine them together. One weekend, we shot Nerf gun game. A couple weeks later, I released the video. And the following weekend after that, the video just took off, went viral, started getting like, instead of not 1,000, not 10,000, but 100,000 views a day. And it just never slowed down after that. It was suddenly getting 100,000 views a day. And I said, okay, hopefully, as long as this continues, I don't have to go back to school. And then I quit my part-time job. And I've literally been making Nerf videos, and specifically Nerf gun game videos, for coming up on almost a decade now.
Dude, that's amazing. So that, I guess when this started going viral like that, were you excited, nervous, and scared all at the same time? Like, I'm guessing it's kind of like, holy cow, this is happening. Oh my God, this is happening. Oh, I don't know what to do. Like,
yeah, yes, all of the above. Yes, I was hitting refresh on my computer every 5-10 minutes. It's like, oh my gosh, it got 5,000 views this hour, and then like refresh next hour, then it got 6,000 views, and it's, oh yeah, anxious and nervous that it's gonna just drop off, and that like, oh, that was it, and it just climbed and climbed and climbed, and it just kept going. And so yes, that was October 2015, and that was a very exciting time. And then 2 months later, I released the second one, and then never stopped, and we just kept releasing a gun game every 2 or 3 months ever since then.
Dude, that's amazing. So I guess at that point, when do you think then did you start to branch out where you decided to do like the themed ones like you do now? with the different versions and stuff like that? Or I guess what was the first one where you thought, all right, so just Nerf gun game, like obviously you got the zombie ones, which you're now releasing, but was there like a point where you decided to branch it off, or was it just one of those like, this is a lot of fun, let me do all of these, I guess?
So back then there was a bunch of like short films, Nerf War short films. PDK Films had a lot even back then, and there was one that was really popular at the time. It was like Nerf versus Airsoft was like a film that was out there that had like tens of millions of views. So that same summer that I started shooting these first-person shooters, I actually shot 2 short films, one that was like 10 minutes and another that was 30 minutes. So after Nerf Gun Game came out, I actually started releasing those as well. So I was already making these short films at the same time as these first-person shooters. And then once Nerf Gun Game, the first one took off, then I started just branching out into all of the different Call of Duty modes. So all of the different game types in Call of Duty, the multiplayer games. We did a team deathmatch. I don't know if we ever did a capture the flag, but we did a one shot. And then the main one was zombies. So then that following summer, we shot zombies, and I invested a ton of time building all of the props that were in the Call of Duty game mode for that video. And yeah, we shot the main zombies video that summer and then started releasing it. And then from there, it was all little short films I came up with, and Star Wars. And then a few years later, we did Super Soakers and Water Guns. And then just kind of whatever theme or anything I was kind of into, I was just like, let's just mix it with Nerf, and that's it. Whatever I'm into, mix it with Nerf.
Well, it's kind of how we live our lives. Like, so I get that completely. It's, yeah.
And so oddly, all of the guys here in the World Foam Alliance, we don't do it for a living. Nerf is very much a hobby for us, and our channels are a hobby. We all have day jobs. Apparently, we've got a caller. Somebody wants to talk to us. Seems weird.
Let's do it.
Hello.
Who are you? What do you want?
This is Brickosaurus. I would like to ask Aaron Esser a question.
Well,
Hello.
like here.
So, in like one of your like more popular short films, I think it was like the Airsoft versus Nerf short film, where they're like in the playground and stuff like that. There's like the central blaster of that whole skit was like the Magnus, and
yes.
it's kind of funny because like I feel like that short film made the Magnus like almost very popular. But I was just curious, what made you decide to use that blaster?
That was a good question. What made me decide to pick that one specifically?
It was on sale.
First off, that's amazing that you know the Elite Nerf Force. That is that was like my very first film I ever did. That was like, this is an official, like a film by Aaron Esser. It's like a 10-15 minute video. So that's great that you know that. I just went shopping
that's
at
the film
Toys R
that got
Us.
me into the hobby.
That's amazing. That's so great to hear, man. Love to hear it. That's great.
Thank you.
The Mega Blasters had just recently started coming out, and I knew Mitch was going to be the main character, and I needed a blaster that he could hold that wasn't like the massive Centurion. And so that was the other Mega Blaster that was out at the time that I thought would look really. It needed to be an epic blaster, but it still needed to be small because it needed to seem like Mitch's like the younger small character. So it was like the best thing that the small character could have, I guess, was the idea that I have. And the Magnus was a great blaster. So
the big old hand cannon. Everyone loved the Magnus.
Yeah, it looked great on camera as well.
Yeah. Well, that's the question I was wanting to ask, is because that one blaster just always stuck with me because I would always watch that like skit as a kid.
Amazing.
And I always wanted to get it, and now I have like 3 of them. But thank you so much for answering the question.
Hey, no problem. I don't hear much stories or the impact of especially the older videos like that. So that is really amazing to hear that. Thank you for sharing that.
No problem. It really got me interested in Nerf and like the hobby.
For once, I'm not the one being blamed for getting someone into this madness.
You got me into thrifting, Captain Xavier.
I refuse to accept responsibility for that. So I am definitely guilty of getting a lot of people into that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing.
Well,
that,
thanks for
Source. That's
answering my
great. I appreciate it.
question. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, your time is almost up, so get off my lawn.
You know what's funny? What I love about it, because Aaron has such an extensive catalog, man. When he started asking the question, it was a great question too, and it was awesome to hear. But right away, I'm thinking of like, I can't remember what movies it was. I think it was whatever it was. But it's almost like I was picturing a Trekkie fan. Do you remember in season 4 in episode 12, right at the 17th mark, when the third crew member? So that was the immediate thing that popped in my head.
Yeah.
But again, yeah, because you made it. And the fact that you can recall and someone's actually picking up on that, it's like, well, here's my soapbox. In life, man, you never know when the smallest thing you do can impact somebody in the most profound way. So I always try to, none of us are perfect, man, but always try to do the right thing. Always try to be good to one another, because you really never know how much of an impact you may, or most of the time may not have an impact on someone else's life. But when it's a cool thing and you find out about it, it's like, man, this is great. So love that.
Yeah, I love that too. That's good stuff.
But Cap, you were going to say something, then we got a caller?
No, I got nothing. I don't remember anymore. I don't remember what I had for lunch.
Well, how
But
about
yes,
this?
this is a call-in show. If you'd like to call, 979-500-2794. Give us a call. Ask Aaron a question. Put him on the spot. Ask some random trivia question about one of his videos that has 1 million views that he made 10 years ago. And see if you can stump.
Well, actually, speaking about 10 years ago, but a little less, how was it you two want to share? How did you two met? And what you thought of each other when you looked at each other going, wait, who's this dude?
Jared's Epic Nerf Blaster, either 3 or 4, 2017
or
or
early
2018.
It was 2017 or 18. My minigun video had just gone viral.
Yes.
It was on every clickbait website on the entirety of the internet, some good, some bad. For some reason, the headline that stuck around was, "Man builds Nerf blaster that destroys nieces and nephews." I'm like, I don't even have any nieces or nephews. Whose nieces and nephews am I supposedly destroying? There were no little kids in the video. But because of that...
You could have.
Yeah. Because of that video, I got invited to Jared's Epic Nerf Battle. And then because Hasbro got involved, I wasn't allowed to use it.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot about that.
I lugged that thing all the way to Texas and then had to leave it in the office. Had 1,000 people ask me, "Where's the minigun?" And you're like, "It's in the ship."
It was either before or after the event, though. You did fire it outside, so I got to see it in the flesh at least. I got to see it for real. It was pretty epic.
Yeah, and it's way more impressive now because I got some really, really cool upgrades for it from Germany. Some crazy German engineer gave me a better barrel system for it, and I upgraded the handle, and everything about it's been upgraded.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's where we met, and I was completely out of my depth because I'm in a car with Aaron Esser, Coop, PDK, Drac, and then there's me with 50,000 subscribers going, "Why am I here?" It was an eye-opening experience.
You fit right in. It was great.
Oh, that
there
is
was
awesome.
the fact that there was that, like, yeah, my channel's not bigger than any of yours, but I definitely have the coolest Nerf blaster.
Most definitely.
Oh, dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I guess what he's saying that, so there you go, Aaron. If you ever want to get into an armory and do something different, there's always an open invite out to Vader, Washington. And trust me, when you get into the armory, wow, yeah, when you get into the armory, it's a lot of fun. So yeah, if you ever want to go out to Vader, Washington, all you need is to show up, and he'll enlist his local mooks, and they'll all do whatever you say, and then you get into the armory, and it has definitely expanded much so since that. When we went last fall, as myself and Anthony, the three of us, and again, we're aged 40 to 48, and we were like little children giggling in there and stuff like that. People are calling, "Yeah, we're busy, man. We're playing with toys, man. Y'all just gotta leave us alone."
That's
awesome.
Everyone's
first reaction when they come into my workshop, because I have every Nerf blaster from 1970 to 2007 on the wall on display. And I've seen it so many times, it doesn't faze me anymore. But when people walk in for the first time and they see everything for, it's like, oh yeah, that is really impressive, isn't it?
How do you have it displayed? Like the order that they came out, or?
By year, yeah.
Okay, wow.
So each year is in a section going all the way around the shop. And I only stopped at 2007 because I ran out of wall, or I would have kept going. I'm missing one blaster from like 2000 or 2001 that was a trash blaster. Nobody liked it. It had a limited review, and they're probably all in landfill. Walcom got his hands on one recently. It's probably the last one in existence. Someday I'll find it.
Someday.
But as you said, you have a standing invitation. If you want to escape to the Pacific Northwest for a weekend, we will build you something epic.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Yeah, you could have an epic Nerf War video with that. If you put on your whole getup and the blaster, especially with all the updates now, you're like the final boss, or like the hero that like just destroys everyone. Sorry, pardon?
And if you ever wanted to invite me to Canada to be in one of your videos, I would happily be the villain or the bad guy or the good guy or whatever you wanted.
Yeah. Either the ultimate, like, most powerful bad guy or could be good guy too, save the day. Could be either or. So.
Or if you just want, me to bring my really cool toys.
Awesome. We'll hopefully make that happen one day.
Yeah. Al and I had an idea of one where we're sitting on the porch and the kids come running through the yard and we tell them to get off our lawn and they're like, well, what are you going to do? And then we, do the montage suit up scene and come out with all of our absurd, and then just get absolutely wasted by the little kids.
And then you shoot the nieces and nephews line in the article or whatever can finally come.
Yeah, I would finally actually get to shoot nieces and nephews. That would definitely need to be a callback to that.
That would be amazing.
So yeah, if you ever need hired goons, we're good. He's probably gonna bring minigun galores, and it'll be master keys and shoulder pads for me. But also, at the same token, I was going to ask before we get away from the Q4, because you have quite the collection on your wall as well, man. So have you been picking up like historical ones as well? Like, is that something you're following, or just ended up when you start looking back at like just the vast collection you have?
Yeah, so I started the collection with buying like 50 used all at once. And then I did that a few times over the next few years. And I got most of them, like all of the big ones. I'm sure you guys have me beat by a long shot, but I have the majority of probably like post like 2010 or something like that. So I don't have any of the early ones. You guys probably got me beat there by a lot, but yeah, basically anything in the last like 14, 15 years, I definitely have every single one, probably multiples. Because usually when we shoot a Nerf gun game, I buy a minimum of 2 of each, just in case, one of them as a backup, or for the other guys to be running around in the background with their weapons or whatnot, if we're on the same weapon or whatever. So, yeah, at least any of the blasters from the last 15 years, I pretty much have everything. I'm not perfect, but almost there.
You have me beat because
it's not me. Nerf, or do you do X Shot and Buzzbee and Dart Zone and?
I definitely 100% Nerf in the last since 2010 probably, and then a little bit less for everything else. Anything new, like all the X Shots, all the gel blasters, all the Dart Zone blasters, the last couple years definitely. Before that, not so much. We also I had so many blasters that about a year and a half ago I finally just did a big giveaway. And so a lot of the older blasters and all my duplicates I kind of got rid of. So yeah. So I definitely I can't say I have every single one. But everything of the last couple of years I probably got pretty much everything, yeah. Dart Zone, Nerf, and X Shot for sure.
Do you dabble in things like Worker?
So the problem with me is I like to open it up from the box, throw the battery in or throw the darts in and just go. And the worker takes even if it takes just a little bit of effort, it like gets shoved in a closet by accident, which is not good. So I have like 2 or 3 big boxes of worker blasters just sitting in a closet that are waiting to be opened and used for. I keep saying like, oh, the next time I do a modded mayhem, I have one of my Nerf gun game series is modded mayhem, where we use just modded blasters. We did 3 of them, and I keep saying, oh, for the 4th one we'll pull those out, but it hasn't happened yet. So I used to years ago. I dabbled a little bit in modding, and some of them went okay, but most of them didn't go okay. I definitely spend most of my time editing or filming or planning videos, and then getting into the whole modding thing. Though I like it, and yeah, it just didn't fit.
Now there's another perfect excuse to bring one of us in as a consultant.
Exactly.
One, all of our stuff is modded. 2, we
Yes.
can put all your stuff together.
Yeah, he'll do it way better than me. Absolutely.
Just put me in a corner with a box of stuff, and
Yeah.
it's a little mod goblin.
That's how I recently reached out to Al, like several months ago or whatever. I was looking for more blasters for the upcoming zombie series, and then I was like kind of looking at all my modded blasters, and Al, you did a master key for me years ago and made it into 1 or 2 of my thumbnails. And I just went like, that's a great blaster. That should be one of the blasters for zombies. And I was like, what if I just had a bunch of those? That would be awesome. That would just solve my problem overnight. I don't have to mod any. I don't have to go searching for all these different people. I said, I'll just ask Al if we can figure something out. And hopefully that'll be good for him, good for me. And it worked out great. So.
That was great. And when you reached out too, because I'm right in the middle of right in the middle of con season, so stocks are kind of low. And you can say, hey, do you need them? When do you need them by? Shit. All right, I can figure this out.
Yeah, when you need them by, like next week.
It's like, yes, I can do this. Holy cow, can I do this? Yeah, I can do this. I got stuff. Yeah, I trust him. Like I sent you stuff that I wouldn't send any other people. So it's like, he's good. He's Canadian. I know he'll be fine.
Yeah.
But,
they're all great. They're all sitting on one of my pegboards, and we did a whole dedicated video for that, going over all of them. They were all awesome. And then we got five parts of my upcoming zombie series. We got part 3, 4, and 5, and they're all featured in all of 3, 4, and 5. They show up right at the end of 3, and then they're throughout the whole ending, all of 4 and 5, all the pack-a-punch blasters.
That is awesome.
Dude, that's awesome. Well, by the way, so recently also, which also helped us get to here, is because again, Aaron and I, we never met in person. This is the first time we ever had like a live conversation. It's usually been back and forth messaging, just because he's featured my blasters way in the past and stuff like that as we've gone along. So when he reached out for that, I thought, all right, I can make this happen. And then again, it was like, all right, let's see if you'll be on the show again with the World Foam Alliance, expanding what we do. And this is a perfect example of, you don't just have to be a Captain Xavier. You don't have to just be an Al the Geek. You don't have to be someone else. You can be whoever you want to be. And so you were a great example of it. And part of it is because you just touched upon what you said. You love the editing. So for you, as much, even though you have a lot of fun with Nerf guns and with dart blasters and stuff like that, and correct me if I'm wrong, for you, and you said at the beginning of it, it's the filmmaking, it's the editing, man. It's putting that. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, my dream as a kid and it was to always be a filmmaker. That's like what I think I'll hopefully call myself forever. I'm sure I won't do YouTube forever. Right now, I do say I'm a YouTuber, but my goal is to be a director, a producer, or be a filmmaker. That's my dream, and I'm partially living it right now. And I always, for most people that like when they're like, you make Nerf videos, I just say like, yeah, Nerf guns or Nerf blasters, they're just like the best prop ever. You don't need a permit. It's like to have like a fake gun or something like that. It's just like the most fun. We're all acting like when we were younger in our big bad bow battles that we used to have. And we're now doing that for an audience and doing it for work and a job and just hanging out as buddies doing it. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, filming the videos kind of mixes it all. It's great.
A fun hobby for us in the hobby is trying to spot Nerf blasters that have been used as props in Hollywood movies. Because they show up way more often than you would think. And sometimes on big budget movies. Like there is a Nerf blaster in Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
For real?
Yeah, there's a Night Finder in one of the Alien when he's taken back the ship.
Okay.
One of the pistols that I think Rocket Raccoon has is a Nerf
amazing.
Night Finder.
That's amazing.
It's in lots of Sci-Fi Channel blasters because their budget is low, so they'll just spray paint a long shot black and call it good.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's
Only
it's
one
fun when you see
time.
one.
Only one time have I ever noticed while watching something like where I was like, that's a Nerf blaster, 100%. What the heck? But I have seen like articles or something like this, where it's like 10 times they used a Nerf blaster in a movie, and I like went through it and was like laughing at it. I was like, oh, this is amazing. So I did know that was definitely a thing, but that's great.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Sure. Question in the chat.
So for me, and when I first started it again, and we touched upon it too, my first, I don't know, 20 or 30 iterations of what I was trying to paint were kind of sad, but I figured it out. But it was finding that one element that really set off or really kind of set off what I was making. And my suggestion, it is dry brushing and distressing. Once you figure that out, man, then it helps tie together everything you're doing. Because one, with the dry brushing, especially with a metallic paint when you dry brush it, and it's also the don't overdo it, but don't underdo it. It's like just doing enough where it makes it look metallic, it makes it look real, it makes it look worn. It kind of like really sets it off. So for armor, like for this, it's a lot of dry brushing. But again, my whole vibe is a whole post-apocalyptic thing. So that will be my suggestion. And much the way Aaron learned how to film everything, there was a lot of YouTube videos. There was a lot of trials and failures. But you know what? I love doing it. So that's why I did it. In the meantime, I think we have 2 callers. So I guess we should answer the phone.
Yeah, we should get a caller. We got a caller. 979. Who are you? What do you want?
Well, Captain Xavier, I believe this is Spider Ranger Miller. I think I met you before.
Probably. I meet a lot of people. What can we do for you? Do you have a question for me, for Aaron, for what?
I guess it's actually Aaron, actually. Which, by the way, hi, Aaron. How are you doing?
Hello. Doing very well, thank you. How are you?
Doing pretty good, man. I guess the only question I have for you is, what are some planned videos you have for the future, like Zombies 5, more collabs? Like, what do you got planned?
That was a good question. I'm kind of stuck in a little spot where I'm not sure what to do next. The upcoming videos, we are finishing our zombie series. You're not going to believe it, but we did the next Nerf gun game, Gun Game 24. We're on the 24th.
Let's go.
We're going to be doing it, going to Nerf Gun Game 100. We also just shot a Super Soaker video recently, so those are all coming out. My next big series that I want to do is World War II and zombies combined. So I was sitting there and I was like, okay, what do I enjoy doing the most? And I was like, I enjoy doing World War II videos and I enjoy doing zombies. And then I was like, why don't I just do them together? I think that would be a ton of fun. So I'm hoping this September or October to shoot that. So that's my next big one that I'm hoping to do.
That's incredible. I cannot wait, man. If you're ever looking for people to collab with or actors, I know a few people who I can suggest.
Oh yeah. Awesome.
Well, I mean, I'm an actor and also another YouTuber, so.
Where are you located?
In Cheyenne, Wyoming.
Okay, wow.
A little out of the way.
Don't worry. I could fly up there if need be.
Dude, World War II zombie movie. That is pretty cool.
I've seen a few. There are some interesting ones where it's like zombie Nazis, and it's just like that's 2 things I don't need those combined. I'm glad that they're gonna all get shot.
Yeah, there'll be zero support for the Nazis. That's a given one. In that game, 0-0.
We have all these like.
What do you got?
Oh, sorry. Oh no, it's just a joke of imagine if the zombies get powerful enough to where darts aren't enough, so you got to find new alternatives.
Maybe the darts take out all the Nazis and then they all become zombies, and then we got to figure out something else. Not a bad idea.
That would be so scary.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Yeah.
Chainsaw bayonet.
So No promises it'll happen, but that's my goal right now. So that's my next plan.
Well, whatever you got planned, man, I'm always going to be right there.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for the question.
Of course, man.
Your time is up. Get off my lawn. That was an
man.
excellent question. If at any point you decide to do an alien-themed video, you had better call me.
Yeah?
I don't know if you've seen my video. I have a Nerf smart gun.
No. Smart gun.
The smart gun.
Okay.
Have you seen the movie
Okay.
Aliens? I assume.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The big machine gun that they had
Yeah.
on the Steadicam. I have one of
Yeah.
those that is Nerf.
Amazing. Oh, that's cool.
And
That's
the body
very cool.
armor with the Steadicam. It actually has a camera that mounts on the blaster that then feeds
Really?
to a heads-up display over my eye, so I can see what
Okay.
the blaster sees. Check out
No way.
Nerf Smart Gun on YouTube. It's a thing.
Like
I also
Nerf-
someone just
Nerf
sent
smart
me-
gun?
Yeah, Nerf Smart Gun.
Okay, I'll look
I
at
have-
it later.
Hasbro came out with the Pulse Rifle,
Yes.
and then I had already years before that one came out. I had a kit for a much better Pulse Rifle that uses a Magnus as the master key, or the
Okay.
internals of a Magnus, so it has a 3-round internal magazine instead of just the one. It also has
Okay.
a better ammo counter. And the same guy who meant that just sent me the flamethrower from Aliens. So now I need to build the pulse rifle that's been sitting in a box for 3 years just so I can duct tape the flamethrower to it.
The projects never end.
Yeah, it never does. But
The
yes,
flamethrower
I
one
would
sounds
love
pretty
to
awesome,
do
though.
An AVPVH humans versus aliens versus predator video. I have a predator mask.
Throw it all together. Versus
Throw it all
Nazis
together.
versus Nazis
Yes.
versus zombies
Zombies and Nazis, just
versus
all of it.
Fortnite.
Yeah.
And then to really throw a mix versus Care Bears.
Yeah, there we go.
There we go. And they'll win at the end. A surprise twist.
Definitely.
That's right.
They'll come out of nowhere and just obliterate us. And not with the power of friendship, with the power of proton packs.
Yes.
Well, all right. Since we're going to alternate universe and stuff like that, I guess then. So then, Aaron, well, at least twofold. First one, on if it comes to like Nerf gun or foam-flinging games, if budget wasn't an issue and location wasn't an issue, right now, what would be the ultimate one that you'd love to try to put together and film?
Oh, that's a good question.
Mm.
Ultimate video. Ooh. Probably a really high budget zombies one where like
Zombies on an oil rig or something.
yes, with like 100 extras. So like there's a real swarm. Cause usually we try to make anywhere from 5 to 10 people look like 50 people, but to get an actual like 100 people on an epic location that had months and months of planning, that would be awesome. Yes.
I like that one. And I guess the second one of that question is, again, because filmmaking is your thing, budget again, location wasn't, and it didn't have to be Nerf guns. What was like, what it is like your feature film or video that you always thought, I'd love to make this if it's not Nerf?
The story of King David from the Bible. Would love to see that in like a live action film.
Oh,
Like
wow.
David versus Goliath, but like his whole life after the life of
Yeah.
David. And then someone needs to make the original Halo video games and Halo novels into either an excellent TV show or movie series. That would be they tried. That is correct. They tried. In my opinion, they failed. I'm a hardcore like original fan of the original books and the original games. And like they're perfect stories. You don't need to change them. They're amazing. And so that original story would be an amazing film series or a TV series. So if I could be the guy to direct that one day in 5, 10, 20, 50 years, however long it is, I'll wait. I'll do it. I'll be the guy if they'd let me.
That would be awesome.
On that note, please send all donations to send all checks payable to hashtag Aaron Esser is doing the next Halo franchise. Again,
Yeah.
send all checks payable to Aaron Esser, hashtag the next Halo franchise. We'll accept all of it. Thank you. Dude, that'd be very cool.
We'll do a Kickstarter account and then it'll get defunded because you can't use the Halo IP.
We'll call it Smalo.
There we go. Slightly just change everything just a little bit.
That's right.
And we'll use Nerf guns. We'll use Nerf blasters for it.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. 'cause
But
they
with
have
still
all the
like
Halo
$100 million
blasters.
budget. Now that would be amazing.
One day, man. One day.
Yeah.
$100 million fan film,
Oh my God, that'd be so much fun.
right?
So I guess when you do it, when you're filming it, do you have like I'm guessing you must have set out a schedule. Like you already know in your head, like all right, you try to do like one movie, like one video a month or things like that, or is it still kind of in flux pending on where it goes, or do you have like a rough schedule that you stick to, and would it be something like you recommend to people that are trying to like come up and coming with their content and YouTube channels?
Yeah, the biggest advice that I give to everyone, including myself, because I fail all the time, is just consistency. Consistency is just the answer. Just release, whether it's every day or every week or every other week, whatever your schedule is, just don't stop posting because you're way ahead of the guy who is not posting. So I have, for years, I always did a video once a week, would always do Thursday afternoons. That's what I did probably like the first 5 years full time. And then I switched to Saturdays. Now I do every Saturday morning if I can. And I did a second channel there for a while, which I was always also trying to post once a week. And that consistency has kind of been all over the place. So right now I'm back to just the main channel once a week. I told myself, hey, we moved recently and I have a baby coming soon. My wife is 40 weeks pregnant. So I was like, okay, let's just back up for a second and just do the one thing I know that I'm good at. I'm just going to release once a week on the main channel. And I know if I want my vlog channel or my gaming channel to take off, the answer is I just have to continue to post. To just be consistent. That's just the start. That's the foundation. So I'm preaching to the choir. I'm not even doing it myself. Other than right now, I'm trying to even take my own advice. Just post once a week. So that's my goal every Saturday morning. And anyone else upcoming, it's like we were talking earlier of painting 100 Nerf blasters. Just start. Your first 10 are probably not going to be very good. And then once you hit your 100th, you're going to look back and you're going to improve so much. And YouTube is definitely the same way.
Yeah, modding's the same way. The first couple you try, your daughters are going to be terrible. You're going to rewire it backwards. You're going to cut too much material off. You're going to use the wrong glue. You're going to, and eventually you get to the point where you can, mod a strife from box to field in 30 minutes. You're like, solder. Here you go.
Wish I could do that.
Same. So I guess on the same token, obviously, we just kind of touched upon it, and we've talked to other people about it. Now, have you ever had like or been on the road of like burnout, man? Just because as much as you love doing it, again, consistency and getting it done, obviously, and as many like today's been a good example. People calling in that are very positive and comments that you get, but obviously there's always gonna be haters. There's always gonna be people that are just troll and say stupid things, man. So have you ever come close to burnout or felt it? And if you have, and like how have you dealt with it? Or have you been lucky where you've dodged bullets?
I've been lucky that I've always been passionate about what I'm doing. I've always enjoyed literally filming Nerf gun or Nerf blaster videos. Like I love it. It's amazing. It's like a dream job come true. At the end of the day, everything becomes a job. I usually get burnt out when I film too much at once. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, we're going to shoot 3-4 days in a row or back-to-back weeks. That's when I will get burnt out. But I usually kind of just take that as like, okay, if I've burnt out, I've just pushed myself too far, take a couple days to recover and kind of come back. I don't know if there's ever been a period where there was like where I was burnt out. So, yeah, I've been pretty lucky actually. For a while there, years ago when I first started doing it full time, Nerf and YouTube doing this was all I did for a while. And then after like 2 years, I kind of was like, hey, you know what? I want to buy a house and I want to get a girlfriend and want to start like building my life. So luckily, because I did that, I kind of probably avoided the burnout, or maybe that would be my burnout moment where I was like, okay, I'm I'm investing 12 hours a day into this, and I need to do something else. So maybe that was my burnout moment.
Well, I think, and because again, we've talked with other people, and we've addressed when people ask us, obviously, it's much different level than you. And I think what's helped you avoid the burnout is the fact that what you do is what you want to do. When you get videos, you're not sitting there trying to figure out what it is that people want to see. You just make what you want to make, which I think is why you've prevented or kind of dodged the burnout. Because so many people, and you can see in the space, especially if you're doing it full time, and the pressure to keep the numbers up, to get your audience up, and to make the numbers. And it's especially when you get stuck and people are like, well, what do I got to do? And I think that's when you hit the burnout, when you're no longer doing what you want to do, and you're kind of trying to figure out what to do instead of just, this is what I love doing, I'm going to do it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Especially with the both of you. Both of you have YouTube channels. It's because of my Etsy store, people know me.
Yeah. No, absolutely. The videos that I think people are going to like are the ones that I definitely enjoy usually making the least. The ones that I'd rather just make are, way more enjoyable. And I don't know which ones do more successful. Usually I always joke, the ones I cared the least about do the most successful. And I think every YouTuber will tell you that. Every YouTuber has a story of like, I invested all of this time into this project, or in the modding space, into this blaster, and did a video about it. And then the video did terrible. But the video that you were just like, oh, this is a fun video, I'm going to make it. That's the one that does the best. That's how it always works. So
absolutely is. I want to show a blaster, but every time one of us actually holds a blaster on camera, they shut down our stream.
For real?
Yeah.
Twice. Once me, once him.
And it's not, well, in his case, it was a realistic, one of his realistic looking paint jobs. For me, it was a bright orange blaster, and they still shut us down.
That's ridiculous.
We don't know what's going on then. But my two most viewed videos are the minigun, deservedly. That one should be my most viewed. My second most viewed was the modular jolt.
Okay.
Where
great.
I had the Mega Blasters had come out, and the one thing I didn't like about the Mega Blasters is they didn't have stock attachment points, and they didn't have stocks. And these are big, beefy blasters with a big, heavy prime, but you couldn't shoulder it to make it easier to prime, especially when you upgraded the spring.
Yeah.
And so I just went through and added stock attachment points to a bunch of blasters, and it took me 5 minutes to film and 10 minutes to edit and upload. And so I uploaded this stock attachment point on the Twin Shock, stock attachment point on this other Mega Blaster, and they're ones that made sense to actually put stocks on. And someone in the comments went, "You should put a stock attachment point on a Jolt." Like, you know what? That's hilarious. I'm gonna do it. So I put a stock attachment point on a Jolt. And then when I was looking at it going, as soon as I put this video up, they're going to tell me I should put a barrel lug on it. So I put a barrel lug on it. And I realized as soon as I put this video out, they're going to tell me I should have put tack rail on it. So I put tack rail on it. And I put that video out as a joke. And for a while, it had more views than the minigun. And that just kind of crushed my soul a little.
That's the way it works every time. That's amazing.
It is. The rest of the videos that are my top ones are my Goodwill videos. People used to love watching me to go to Goodwills and buy blasters.
I did it. It was fun. So what about you, Aaron? Which is the most ridiculous one that you can't believe is like, really, that's the one? But okay.
My most popular video is Nerf Gun Game Super Soaker Edition. It is by far my most popular video. Extremely viral. I was super blessed with that video. That was by far the fastest Nerf gun game to shoot. We shot that video in under 2 hours. We were rushing the sunlight. We showed up. We filmed it real quick. Okay, do this. Just totally spontaneous. I had one or two guys not show up. Filmed the video. I was like, okay, like that. We had a great time. That was my first water gun video. I was like, awesome. We did it in 2 hours. The sun is setting. Oh, shoot. We ran out of time. Whatever. Released the video. It is by far my most watched video. In fact, it's actually the most watched Nerf gun video on YouTube. And so here we'll film a Nerf gun game for 6 to 8 hours and like do so much for it. And here's this one that required no darts, no batteries. We're rushing the sunlight. People didn't show up, and that's the one that is the most successful, which is hilarious to this day.
Apparently, we have a caller, an urgent caller, some kind of a call.
Do it.
A web call.
Hello.
It's probably the guy in Australia. Hello?
Hi.
Who are you? What do you want?
Hi.
Hello.
Can you hear me? Sorry, I got an ad.
Yes, we can hear you.
Stupid ad. Yeah, I got an ad. Okay. So one of my long distance friends is building a mag-fed pump snap.
Okay.
Basically, the people in charge of their local Nerf group are really stuck up and snotty, and they won't let you get them use off-the-shelf Pro blasters. And this friend is a college student, so they're on a tight budget. So they decided, screw this, I'm going to take a pump snap, stuff a deploy mag well on the end, and make it work.
Excellent plan. Deploy mag is great for that.
Like, it's so hilarious, but it works surprisingly well.
Yeah, I've got a deploy mag well that I can attach to any of my air tank systems.
Yeah, they basically did that, and stuck that on the end of the Nerf Haven pump snap instruction build thing.
That'll do it. That'll have plenty of power.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. They haven't taken it to war yet, but this is like their big middle finger to the event organizers.
There's some gatekeepiness from the old NIC crowd that just don't like the fact that Dart Zone and Worker has made it so anybody can get a pro level blaster for $50.
Yeah, so this is her like, screw you. If you won't let me use off-the-shelf stuff, I'm going to make it myself from leftover PVC pipe and whatnot I got from friends and family.
Yep, that's what Nerf modding was 10 years ago. Now it's 3D printed parts, and sometimes, I mean, you don't really even need to. You can go to Walmart and buy a blaster that hits 200 FPS.
Actually,
it used to be impressive to get a blaster to hit 100 FPS. Now we have trouble getting blasters to hit under 120 FPS.
Actually, Aaron,
Yes.
do you regret breaking the Gear Up Maverick in Elite Nerf Strike Arsenal?
That's great. I got a lot of comments about that. So if you guys don't know, there was a Gear Up Maverick that I had. And the bad guy, who's my cousin in the video, steals it from one of the characters. And he says something like, oh, yeah, like, here's your blaster or something like that. And he breaks it over his knee. And I'm like, this is a great bad guy moment. Like, he breaks her blaster. And this is like the first moment you see the bad guy. Like, he's a bad guy. He takes her blaster and breaks it. Well, I got so many comments of like, that was a Gear Up Maverick, Aaron. Like, what is wrong with you? And at the time, I did not realize how special the Gear Up Maverick was. But I got a lot of comments to tell me. But what people do not know is that blaster was already broken in half. So no, I did not actually break it in half. I had two. There was one already broken in half, and before he had the regular like working one in his hand, and then he goes to break it on his knee, and then we switched real quick, cut the camera, did it again. So there's a cut there that you may or not be able to see. But no, I did not out of the blue just break a Gear Up Maverick.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how special the blaster was, but now I do. So don't worry.
See something nifty?
Here we go.
Also, what was it? What was that video series where it was like the guy had Project Cataclysm and Project FDL, and there was all the prototypes and whatnot? What was that series?
Box Gear Up Maverick.
That's amazing. That was
that
was my Nerf Warfare campaign.
Time's up.
That's great.
Awesome.
Well, thank you for bringing up the Elite Nerf Strike and the old Nerf War campaign. That's amazing. Thank you. It's great to hear about all the old videos. I'm
get a lot of-
not. We didn't get to hear his question, but I'm
good
sure his
quality
question
of
was going to
call.
be like, what ended up happening to it? And my answer is sadly that we will never know.
That's still an answer. That's valid. That works.
there
That's
was never a follow up to that series, and sadly there never was. Other than at the end, there's a vial that's supposed to be a zombie outbreak, like virus that gets dropped. So that's what we'll just say that started the zombie apocalypse.
No, I'm not surprised you got a lot of angry comments about breaking a Gear Up Blaster. They are fairly rare. I only have 5 or 6 Gear Up Maverick, man. I mean, they're in my colors, so
At the time, I didn't know. So there's been a few times where we did just decide to break a random blaster, like for a scene, and thank God I didn't do it for that thing. Even though people think I did. No, it was already broken. I did not do it. My hands are clean, I swear.
Well, here's the answer, man. What it's called is movie magic. What you think you saw never happened.
Yeah.
Movie magic. You're welcome.
We
Come
didn't
on.
break it. That was CGI.
Yes. It's like what? I'm killing real zombies. Like, come on, people, live in the now, man. Everything's fine.
Yeah. It does look like it though in the video because he's holding a broken Gear Up Maverick. So you think, oh my gosh, they broke a Gear Up Maverick. Why would they do that? It was already broken, I swear. Movie magic. Movie magic.
Movie magic.
Movie magic, man. Movie magic. You know what you do then? You do a follow-up short, especially if this sponsor caused a lot of people to ask questions. So you do a simple short where you show the broken Maverick, movie magic, and all of a sudden it's whole again because it's the actual one that you got.
Yes.
And there you go.
That's a good idea, actually. That's fun. I like that.
You might
just say I'm the ultimate Nerf modder. I can restore a blaster to its former glory.
Actually, you probably could have sent the parts to Mr. Nathan and he could have sent it back looking good as new.
Seriously. If anything, you can use that as your hint for your next movie, whichever one you're doing. You grab it broken, you put it together, and then it fades to whatever zombie game 6.0 ...
Yeah.
And there you go. You have your trailer.
Done.
Dude, that's awesome. Okay, so again, back to what we were talking about earlier. So which of your videos did you spend the most time, most money on? And then when it came out, you're like, really? That's it?
Yeah, so the one was the Nerf gun Super Soaker was the one that took off what I was not expecting, which was amazing. The one that there's been many that I've spent a lot of effort on and they did not do as well as I'd hoped. But the one that really sticks out, one of the first ones is my 1 million subscriber special was the Nerf Hunger Games. And so we decided to film a dedicated 2 full day Nerf Hunger Games. And I spent weeks editing this thing, weeks planning it, 2 full days, had a group of 15, 20 people out. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. This is amazing. And then I released it and it did terrible. Looking back a few years now, I made it way too intense and I made it way too much shaky cam. I loved the original Hunger Games with the shaky cam, and that doesn't really work so well, especially with maybe a younger audience. So that one never did as well as I'd hoped. And I was a huge fan of Hunger Games, so I was so excited for that. And looking back now, I think it has, I think it broke 1 million views, which is amazing. So really happy we still made it, and I'm still super proud of it. But at the time, it especially when I first released it, it did not release very well, and I was a little disappointed with that.
That I can see. Oh, and then an earlier question.
You can't make me motion sick, so I wouldn't have liked it at all.
Pardon?
Shaky cam makes me motion sick, so I wouldn't have been able to handle it. I had to leave the theater for 28 days later.
Really?
Yeah. Because it was just couldn't do it. Nearly threw open my popcorn. You're like,
I guess I'm lucky it doesn't make me sick. I actually really like shaky cam, but
yeah, the first person shooters in general will make me motion sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called simulation sickness. Apparently my brain sees the movement but doesn't feel the movement and interprets that as a hallucination and assumes I've been poisoned and I need to throw up.
Okay.
I think that's the current theory on why video games would make you motion sick. So I play space sims, flight sims. They don't make me motion sick. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Simulation.
notes
I
now.
had a
Interesting.
question and I keep forgetting it.
Now we know how to make them sick. Oh, I wanted to ask,
Yeah.
and I saw this earlier, and I keep forgetting to ask. It was actually Andrew, aka Dart Sweep, that asked because what Andrew actually does his full-time gig with video editing and stuff. He wanted to know what your camera rig was, man. What you use for filming?
Yeah, we use something really simple. For the main videos, it's just a GoPro on a helmet. That's it. It's so simple. And then for the filmmaking, we use a Canon DSLR, and over the years, it just switches. I kind of upgrade maybe every like 2, 3, 4 years, just to whatever the latest Canon DSLR is. And that's basically it. Yeah, like I got my helmet right here. One sec.
Learning the secrets.
It's literally just like a dirt bike helmet, and we just
Love
put the
it.
GoPro. We literally just put the GoPro on the front. It's that simple. That simple. It's a lot of people will wear the GoPro on the headband, but then you can't see it because it's on your head. So if you do it like this, you can at least see it. You can see it right in front of you.
Frame, like a
Yeah,
Muppet puppeteer.
And then you can strap it on so it's not going to fall off. So if you like jump in the water, it's like not going to rip off your head, or it's not going to sink and fly off. Or and then when you're filming enough, doing all sorts of different videos, zombie videos and stuff, you're a lot of time not paying attention to other things going on as well. So it does protect my head as well. There's a couple times I would have banged my head if I wasn't wearing it. So
It's brilliant.
yeah, it's literally like a $70 dirt bike helmet with a GoPro attachment on the front. It's nothing special.
Neat.
That is very cool, man. Safety and filming all in one, and it's quite simple.
Yeah, for years I used a motorcycle helmet, but it has gotten. I've realized it's just too heavy, and every time I'd film, I'd like get a headache and it hurt my neck and hurt my back, especially if we do like 3 days in a row or something. So finally, I like found this dirt bike helmet that weighed like a third the weight. So that was a huge improvement.
Good to know.
Yeah,
Good.
Yeah, it's quite simple actually.
So you had
So
mentioned before we actually started the stream that you've only ever been to one major Nerf event. Oh, a caller. What is this, call-in show?
Hello. Hi, what's up? This is Mike Nimrod. How are you?
Too early to tell.
Oh, sorry. Sorry about that. My name is Michael Nimrod. How are you, Captain? How are you, Shayla? I mean, Captain.
I'm good. How are you?
So, yeah, my username on YouTube is Random Idea Generator 1990. And I also have a Facebook. I have Instagram. I have Twitter. All that good junk. And I got questions for both you and Aaron, each one respectively. And Al, you're also an awesome Nerf. What's it called for? Modder. Keep up the good work. Yeah, so Shayla, and Cap, sorry. I keep forgetting that Shayla's your real name. I keep forgetting about that. Sorry.
That's
first
my real
question
name.
is, have you ever considered modding more blasters and finding more blasters with K20? Can it take a K26?
Yeah, I still do that series. I just don't do it as often as I used to.
Yeah, because there's a lot of blasters. It's hard. Like there's like what's called another version of the Magnum Super Drum that just came out. I don't even know if it can take K26 or not.
The Magnum could, but it made it unpleasant to operate because it's top prime.
Exactly. Like the strong arm can't either because of the offset prime. That's just more of a pain in the butt. I love your K26 videos. They are hilarious.
They are
And
a lot of
the
fun.
X-Shot, that what's it called the one with the you were doing the crusher and you were doing like a cinematic play about it. That was hilarious. That's what I like about Nerf. It's always fun to watch someone do something cool. But now the question with Aaron was, do you still play Roblox or Fortnite or anything like that?
I'm a Fortnite guy, yeah. I don't play too much Roblox, very, very rarely, but my go-to game is usually Fortnite. I used to play Call of Duty years ago.
I used to play Call of Duty a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, Fortnite.
Yeah,
I just basically play the Battle Royale, and that's it.
Yeah, I would play your gun game server, but like Every time I try to do it on the weekdays, it's like basically empty.
Yeah, I know the population of the game is low right now. We're trying to get it up. Sadly, it's too low right now. So I'm hoping to do a live stream coming up that'll hopefully boost it. And then so stick around for if you can see one of those live streams, because then there'll be definitely players on the game at that time.
Yeah, but it's on a Saturday. Problem is, I work on Saturdays right now in the summer because I live in New Jersey, and I have to work at like a job. I'm like 34 years old. I have autism, which is pretty cool. I'm like high functioning. And I know how to like use different blasters. So I've got like a collection. I was gonna probably send Cap a couple blasters. Like I have an incisor I could send him, and a couple extra blasters I was gonna donate. But instead, I was gonna send it to him instead, just for the heck of it. Why not?
Cool.
I mean, I got a Demolisher, a Zombie Strike Long Shot, a Fire Strike Original, and Strictly Fire Strike, and probably if I'm right, Magnus version 2, the new one, and probably my cinnamon incisors in case. So the other thing, before I run out of time, I was going to say that you guys got to collaborate more. I would love to see that. I'll just be off alone right now.
That is actually, I want to do more collaborations as well, but your time, my friend, is up. So get off my lawn. But by all means, mail me stuff. I'm a shameless fan of free stuff. Do people mail you a lot of stuff, Aaron?
No, years ago I had a PO box, and then yeah, just kind of got rid of it and haven't really done anything with it. That's it.
Coming up on my Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of felt bad because I feel like some people would mail me, and then I'm like, well, should I mail them back, or should I do like videos, like fan mail videos? And yeah, I don't know. I wasn't very good at it. I wasn't very good at doing anything fan mail related. I'll just say that.
Coming up on my 200th fan mail video.
Amazing.
I get sent a lot of stuff. That was the one thing that kind of was really weird at Jared's Epic Nerf Battle was, Drac is there, Coop is there, you were there, PDK is there, but I'm the one who got brought stuff.
That's awesome.
And people were bringing me root beer and blasters with Skittles in them. It was weird. PDK's like, what just bring stuff?
That's a hardcore fan base right there, man.
I have a very, not a huge fan base, but a very dedicated fan base.
That's amazing.
And part of it, I mean, because especially the last 2 years and a few years before that, I started traveling to the big events. I started going, I went to End War, and I went to RAG, and I went to Maryland Mayhem, and I went to Ball Madness, and I got to meet all of the people. Plus, I help run the local Nerf War every month. And that ended up being just a wonderfully rewarding experience. I got to travel Europe, both 2022 and 23, and entirely crowd surfed or couch surfed pretty much the entire trip across Europe. Just staying with fans. Cool. And I went to the Netherlands and Denmark and Germany and France and England and Scotland and Wales and Ireland and but you said you've only ever been to one Nerf event?
Yeah, I am quite introverted actually. So I've not get to go to my way to those kind of things very often. I literally live on like 50 acres out in the middle of the woods. So quite private.
For the most part, I am a hermit. That's why I did so much less travel this year is I completely burned my social battery out in the last 2 years. Because
need a big recharge?
I did, and then I still end up having to go to stuff. Sorry,
go ahead.
Celebrity is something that not everyone is built for, and I'm not sure I'm built for it.
You'll find him at events, man. You'll find him at events. So, example, I got the booth set up, and all of a sudden I was asking where Chalo is, and he's down on the floor behind the booth with his hat over his face, pretending to sleep, just because he is as much. The good news is, so if you ever meet Cap in person, he is always very friendly, answers the question. He is very much who he is. But he is also an introvert, and I can tell when he's burnt, and it's kind of like, yeah, let's talk to him a little bit. He's napping, even though he's just in his like, just don't talk to me right now.
Yeah, he needs to recharge. Leave him alone.
Yeah,
he's not trying to be mean.
So then I guess,
a couple
Aaron,
minutes.
Yeah, no, it's the good news is like, so when you actually come to events, obviously you'll probably get swarmed at times, especially with your fan base. But it's amazing how many people that we get that are also introverts or also on the spectrum, and they also realize, you know what I mean? Oh, he probably needs a recharge. So as much as you can be overwhelmed by that, a lot of people are in the same boat and understand, and will give you your space, which is great. And if not, I usually have a booth, and you just hide behind my booth, and you can breathe, and then you go back out and talk to people.
That's great.
But I was going to ask, so how often you get recognized in public by anybody? Does it ever happen?
No, very, very rarely. Maybe like once every like 6 months, maybe once a year. That's it. Yeah. Now most of my fan base is a younger audience, and I'm not in places like maybe if I go to the mall or something, that's where someone would recognize me. But I very rarely go to the mall, so it's like I'm not really in places that I'm going to get recognized. And a lot of my videos, it's just from a first-person perspective, so a lot of people aren't going to recognize me anyways. They're not going to know. So I don't really get recognized too often. To answer the earlier question, yeah, I've only really been to a couple Nerf events ever. Became good friends with Drac years ago, and when I was down in Atlanta, I did go to the SENC, I think that's what it's called in Atlanta. Yeah. Whatever the group is there in Atlanta. So I went there one Saturday, and then he was a big part of one of the End Wars. And so I think I drove down maybe like 4 or 5 hours. That one was actually close to where I live. This was years ago, like 7, 8 years ago or something. And I drove down to support his event. The one
that would have been the one in Athens, right?
That sounds correct. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, just on like the Saturday, we drove down the morning, hung out that day, and yeah, I just came to support him that day. That was pretty cool. There was a couple hundred people there. It was pretty wild. I'd never done anything like that. Met some people, was awesome, and then yeah, we didn't even like stick around for like the following day or anything. Like people make a whole weekend out of it, right? Which is crazy. And then it just like builds and builds. More zombies come. It's crazy. A lot of fun. So I didn't even get to experience the whole thing. I just got to experience just like the afternoon. But and then other than that, just Jared's Epic Nerf Battle. Those are the events that I've gone to. That's it.
How many of the Jared's Epic Nerf Battles have you been to?
I think 3, 2017, 18, and 19. And then 20, 2 weeks before it happened, it got canceled. So
yeah, that one. And then the next year they did it back to back, and I made the mistake of going to that one. That was way too much for me.
Really?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you remember Jared's Epic Nerf Battle. Imagine doing it back to back, doing it and then having 2 hours and then doing it again.
That is crazy.
I ended up snapping at a little kid and felt really bad about it because he kept shooting me in the back of the head. And,
that's wild. I did attend the one in Atlanta last summer, so I guess I've technically been to 4. That was the last one I've been to. So I went to the 3 previous 2020 and then 1 last year, and that's it. So yeah, and they were all great, ton of fun, met a ton of fans, and great event.
I get recognized in Goodwill by my voice.
That's amazing.
I did get recognized at Fan Expo when I went there. I got recognized in the parking lot before I even gotten in the building.
Wow. Dedicated fan base, man. Hardcore fans.
I had 4 this weekend in Chicago. I was like, woo, 4. This is pretty cool.
There you go.
But it's a lot of fun. Like at the same token, like when Cap came down to visit after one of the Maryland Mayhems, he crashed at my place, and he'd never seen DC, so we did the whole DC tour. And it's funny, both of us are wearing our T-shirts. We're walking around, and did not get recognized by a single person. But the best thing is, we did not care. It was the best part. Yeah. We didn't get recognized. It's like, all right, this is cool. Let's go something. So, hey, cool shirt. Hey, thanks, man.
Right from Amazon, like you said earlier, right?
Yeah, I am so glad that when I did my DC trip, it was with Al, because this was a week after Maryland Mayhem. I was still worn out from Maryland Mayhem, and then I'm pretty sure I got COVID or some nasty bug. I thought I was just still tired. No, I was sick as a dog trying to do the DC tour of walking around looking at statues of old dead white men. And luckily, I was with Al, and Al could tell, oh, you're done. Let's go. Let's get out of here. You know, like, yeah, but we haven't seen Jefferson. Yeah, you've seen him on the nickel. Let's go.
Yeah.
Dude, that is funny. Yeah. As always, you're expecting, so your life's gonna get busy. But if you ever want to do an event or come out to an event, reach out. We will happily have you and make sure you're not overwhelmed, but to make sure you have a lot of fun too. We've gotten good at that. So it's making sure people have access to, but at the same time, not full access. And again, for those watching at home, it's not because we don't like you. It's just I'm lucky. I'm an extrovert. I'm used to people all the time. But even I have my limits. But for some people, you can only do so many things so often. And the last thing you want to do is have a negative experience where it's not who you are, not what you intended. But at the same time, it's knowing to put yourself in situations where, you're not comfortable. And that again links back to the hobby and what we do, man. There's so many people like that, especially like conventions and stuff like that. I can tell people come up to the booth, and it's not people that recognize you, but you can tell on a daily basis. It's people that really don't talk to other people, and they come up to your booth and ask questions. You can see them struggling and stuff like that. And it's just like, all right, go with the flow and make it happen. But where am I going with this? I don't know. Be good to one another, man. Everyone's weird and different, but that's a variety of life. and you meet some amazing people, you hear some amazing stories, and you learn some amazing things. Yeah, that's what I'm going. Let's go with that.
Yeah, that's great. So, love that. That's great.
Again, extend the invitation. If you ever find yourself wanting to come see the Pacific Northwest, I have a bunkhouse that you can stay in, and I have my own private Nerf arena, and I do private events where it's just the big people in the Pacific Northwest. So it's Out of Darts, it's Silver Fox Industries, it's X Fox, it's Dr. Flux. They all come, so they don't have to deal with being a celebrity like they do when they go to Bourse. And we do Nerf Wars here, and we're all packing the cool blasters, because these are the people that built, designed, and sell the cool blasters.
That's fun. That's a lot of fun.
And then afterwards, we do a big barbecue, and half of them will stay the night, and we do night wars. And but yeah, if you ever wanted to come out here, we build you the biggest, baddest blaster you've ever had, because that's what I do.
That'd be awesome.
Something fun, something that holds 2,000 rounds and fires 20 rounds a second. Something crazy.
That would be epic. That would be epic.
So I guess then.
Well, I appreciate the invite for both of you. That's awesome. How about this? If, let's say there's a public event. There's only one you could go to. What would it be?
Maryland. It's either going to be Maryland Mayhem or Ragnarok Octoberfest. Those are the two big ones now.
Okay.
And
cool.
Maryland Mayhem's a lot closer to you.
Where's that one located?
That one's in Maryland, Baltimore.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Rag is down in San Francisco, I think, San Diego.
Okay.
California, I know that. Same.
About
for me,
as far as you can get.
For me, it's Maryland Mayhem. For me, it's in my backyard, because it's about, I always bug the Maryland guys. Every one of their events, everything somehow is an hour from my house. Even though it'll be 4 different locations, magically they're all an hour from my house. I wish it wasn't, but such is life, and it could be worse. But the Maryland Mayhem, I love it. Part of it is because obviously I know a lot of people there local, but the admin team, the guys they're all my buddies now too, but just in terms of how they handle it and how they do it, I love how it's organized. I love the thought they put into it, and I love just how they get along and they make things work from different things. So I guess it is a great event. It's a fun event, but it's also just because the core that organize it. I'm a big believer in that. When the core is good, everything else is good. When the core is then everything else can be So that's my thing. But what I want also to ask you then, dude, is then, so for those that don't know, but at the same time, tell people now about the recent series, what you released so far. Basically, the PR spot, man. Tell us what you're doing now, what's being released, and when.
Yeah, so we've always been doing zombie videos, and right now we're doing our 5th series. There's a couple other small ones in there, but our big, like we have like a running series, and this is the 5th one. And it's coming out right now. Part 3 is coming out this Saturday. We have a total of 5 parts. And yeah, if you like Nerf blasters and you like zombies, specifically Call of Duty zombies, this is based on that, but in real life. And then we got Al's blasters as the pack-a-punch blasters in there as well. So when you take a regular stock Nerf blaster, you put it in the pack-a-punch machine from Call of Duty, upgrade it, turn it into a pack-a-punch blaster, and then it's just a epic modded Nerf blaster in real life. So yeah, each part's about 10 minutes long. It's a 50-minute short film. We usually release all of our series in parts and then release the full film as one. So part 3 is coming out this Saturday. Then it should be part 4, part 5, full of a lot of zombie killing and epic Nerf mods, and then the full film should come out this fall. So that's what I'm working on right now, and yeah, it's a ton of fun. I love it.
I've changed my mind to be involved in the next one of those, because what I'm best known for is humans versus zombies. That's what I got in. That's how I got into Nerf.
Yeah.
Was Humans versus Zombies was at my campus at the University of Idaho.
Okay.
And so of all the things in the Nerf hobby that I'm best known for, it's Humans versus Zombies. So, I mean, if you wanted a Humans versus Zombies celebrity guest, I'd be a good one. Plus, I got a minigun.
I will keep you in mind. That would be awesome. Maybe Zombie 6. Do you want to, or World War II zombies? One of the two.
Either way, zombies is what I want. I have a Stahlhelm.
Okay, we will keep you in mind. Absolutely.
Of course you do.
And a pickle halberd, and World War II helmets. I get a lot of stuff.
You got a lot of stuff.
But to go back to Maryland Mayhem for a minute, the thing that's so cool about Maryland Mayhem is we mentioned that there's a lot of different aspects of the Nerf hobby. Maryland Mayhem is an event that covers most of it. So it has the 5v5 tournament that has prizes, like actual real money value prizes. It's like, it's a lot of money. It has an HVZ, a whole day-long HVZ, and then it also has a Nerf war, just a friendly competitive Nerf war, and it has the vendor con. So you've got all of the big vendors in the hobby. Again, Out of Dart, Silver Fox, X Fox. If you've ever wanted to buy the coolest blasters that exist, this is where they all are with no shipping.
Okay.
So when I say Maryland Mayhem is the thing to go to, it's a 3-4 day event. And you can, take part in as much or as little as you want.
Cool.
So, yeah. But no, I would
absolutely
love to come do a zombie, be in one of your zombie movies.
Yeah,
we could tell.
You would be awesome in it. You'd be awesome in it, man. You'd look.
I will bring minigun and the full heavy loadout, and it will be epic.
That would be super epic.
All right, hold on. Let's get back to his videos. Yes, he knows. If he needs us, he can have us. But what I was going to say was, I also loved, for those that don't know how to watch it, because I watched your first 2 episodes, and I also love the fact that it's not just you just going to shoot stuff. The story is well thought out, and there's obviously touching things. I haven't seen all the videos, which I should, but it's just like, who has time for anything in these days? But I love the fact that at the end of every 10-minute thing, it's always a little bit of a cliffhanger. So it's not just like a sudden ending where it's like part 2, you're like, that was weird. Where it's like you're doing it just again. This is the thing about you. It's not just Nerf gun videos where they just run out shooting. It is well planned out. It is staged. It is thought out, and you got the cliffhanger. So it's just like you're watching a TV series. So if you want to drop a little hint on what was the recent cliffhanger that episode 2 ended at.
Mike accidentally knocked himself, like in the game. Can I res in time? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. That's the cool thing when you watch this. So it's not just like a weird ending. You build suspense, and that you're timing it out. So it's kind of, for me, it's kind of like, again, for those that don't know, and for those that do know, you recognize this. It's when you plan it out, it is well thought out. It is planned out, man. It shows that you know what you're doing, and it's what you love to do. So I just wanted to shine a light on that, man. Again, thank you for that. But that's also probably the success you have is because of it. And again, channeling to those that want to know how to do videos and stuff like that. It's stuff like this that you do. It's the devil in the detail. It's the little things, man. That 1, it brings you joy. 2, it brings so many other joys. And 3, if you want to know how to do it, it's things like this, man. Think about what you're doing.
Yeah. So how
Thank
much
you.
like actual script and storyboard and rehearsal and all of that do you do, or is it all improv?
It goes back to the things you spend the least amount of effort on and you care about the least seem to do the best, and the things you spend the most amount of time on do the worst. So I have written scripts, and those don't seem to do as well, and they take way more time. So usually for the Nerf gun games and things like the zombies, I have an idea of basically like point A to point Z, and everything in between is just like on the fly. So generally it'll be like, hey, I want to end this gun game this way, and we kind of just get there. Or for like the zombie series, it's, hey, I know the ending is going to be this, and along the way we got to make sure that this happens, this happens, and this happens, and everything else is just in the moment. I just kind of figure it out and tell everyone what to do, direct them what to do. Or sometimes I'll even just let my friends be spontaneous. They're very good at it, especially Mike and Nathan, the characters in this series. Where I'll say, hey, I need this to happen. I'm going to say this. I'm going to do this. Can you talk something about this? Talk something about this. Can you guys do that? Yeah, sure. And then action. And that's it. So,
Cool.
yes.
I imagine it helps that you've been doing this for 10 years and they're fairly, you have a good idea of what works and what doesn't work and what people enjoy. But
yep.
Very
Just
organic. I like it.
Yeah, I like that. It's very organic. Yes. And
I imagine, I mean, it also, I mean, it doesn't feel forced. It doesn't feel staged. It feels like a bunch of guys having fun and doing their thing, which it is. And people can sense it. They can respond to that. If you make a video that you don't like doing, people aren't going to enjoy watching it because it's a person who's miserable. Yeah. They want to see people who are having fun and just doing their thing. So, yeah.
I like to keep in the takes that there's like humor in it, and like there's a couple scenes throughout the series where Michael will turn to me or something and he's like, wait, did I just do that right? And I just like keep that in the video because technically we're playing the video game in real life, right? So it's as if he's like not playing the video game correctly, even though he was talking to me like, hey, did we film that correctly? And I'm just like, and I just say, yeah, buddy, let's do this. And then we just keep going on. So multiple times that happens throughout the series. And it's like, that was 100% organic. Like he was just talking to me like, did we do it right? And I was just like, yeah, just keep going.
That's awesome.
So yeah, it's fun. It's totally fun. And that's how we can film like a 50-minute series within only a couple days, right? While a Hollywood movie, they're filming a couple minutes usually in a couple days.
Yeah,
we're filming it about 50 times faster than they are.
Yeah, doing the same scene 20 times, getting 20 different takes, and then picking one of them. And yeah, that was kind of my thing. I was like, are you doing multiple takes? Is it typically one take? Like my videos are almost always one take. Maybe I'll flub something and I'll redo it, and then every once in a while I forget to edit it out, and me going balls and starting over will make it into the video.
That's funny. It depends on the series. For most of the time, we can get away with only doing it once. But so a lot of times we'll do it completely spontaneous, and then once it's done, I'll be like, "That was amazing." Except let's change this one part, or to get to Z or get to Z, what you said doesn't make sense, so you have to redo it, but just change that one line. Does it make sense? Yeah, everybody good? Okay, action, and we just do it again. So. But, and that's usually it. We do it a second, maybe a third time at most, and we just go again. So a lot of fun.
I like that. That's cool. Makes me feel less unprofessional.
No, it's just a GoPro on a dirt bike helmet, and we're just figuring it out as we go. It's nothing crazy. It's all in the editing. The editing room makes it look special.
That's what I've heard. I need to get better at editing.
I suck at editing. I've given up.
It's time consuming. It is very time consuming.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. Is you'll spend an hour filming and a week editing, and I'm going, I'll spend 2 hours filming and half an hour editing. I'm definitely doing something wrong.
Just a different type of video. That's all.
Yeah, most of mine are educational anyway, so it's just filming top down of me explaining how to completely disassemble and reassemble a blaster. Not a whole lot of editing necessary for that.
No, yeah, just a different niche. That's all. But in the same Nerf space.
Absolutely, man. So I guess as time's winding down, do you have any questions or anything for us or anything you want to put out to anybody? If you're sitting after this long going, I got to ask this. Is there anything in the top of mind that you want to say or ask?
Good question.
Who are you?
Wait a second. Where am I?
Why am I here?
Why did I agree to this?
Yeah. So what? So you guys created the World Foam Alliance. What's your big goal with that? I think you were trying to tell me about it earlier. You're just trying to make multiple communities all over the world be connected so that more communities can be built out of it.
Yeah.
Am I getting that right?
One of the biggest issues that we all kind of noticed about the Nerf hobby is that it was completely decentralized. Nobody knew where various clubs were. We were all atrocious at advertising and marketing. So there were a lot of people who, wanted to find a Nerf club or like there's no Nerf in my area. And you're like, there's 3 Nerf clubs within a half hour of you. What do you mean there's no Nerf near you? And then we realized that just nobody knew about it because we're all a bunch of introverted nerds who are lousy at marketing. And so Derek, who is in fact a professional at marketing, got this brilliant idea of marketing the Nerf hobby.
Awesome.
Through something that he dubbed the World Foam Alliance. And yeah, the idea is to connect people to the hobby. Because Hasbro, Nerf, the brand is $1 billion toy brand. And yet there's no marketing from them about the existence of a community. They don't, you watch a Nerf video, there's no find the club near you. That's not there because nobody knows about us. So the goal was to find where all the clubs are and to find people that are near each other that don't have a club. Through one of the things that I did a while back, there's a bunch of Nerf clubs that now exist because people met through kind of my fan club kind of thing, the auxiliary, and ended up realizing, there's 10 people in Kansas City who all watch Captain Xavier's videos and want to start a Nerf club. So they started a Nerf club. Now KCNC is a thing. And so the goal is to be, individuals can register and go, I'm in this area. And then if we get 10 people in that area, we can, find a way to connect them so they can form a club. Or if they're just, okay, well, I live in the Maryland area. Okay, well, there's 3 Maryland Nerf clubs as part of the Maryland Foam Alliance. Here's their information. Go check out their website, check out their Discord, check out their Facebook, go to their events. Because if you didn't know that a Nerf club was near you, how would you even start looking for it?
Yeah.
What do you type into Google to find Nerf club near me? That's not going to show you anything because they're probably called something like the KCNC, or in our group, it's the PANC. Panic is the Pacific Northwest Nerf Club. But if you didn't know to search Pacific Northwest Nerf Club on Facebook, you're not going to find it.
Yeah.
Because we don't have a website. We don't have, radio commercials. We don't have TV commercials. We don't have, a Facebook group or a YouTube channel that regularly, does that. And so the World Foam Alliance is trying to, one, get clubs to register as well as individuals to register. And if we can get large enough and get influential enough, then we can talk to people like Dark Zone and Hasbro and get them to add. Check out World Foam Alliance for your local Nerf club onto the box of their blasters or, on their commercials. Because somebody buys a Nerf blaster, they shoot their darts, they lose their darts, they lose interest. You find out that there's a club that meets once a month in the park down the street from you. You are now going to buy 50 Nerf blasters and start going to that club.
Yeah.
So it's a marketing gold mine that nobody has tapped into. And so the goal, is to grow the community. Goal isn't to become the central authority on Nerf. It's not to start dictating what rules you have to use or anything like that. It's just trying to get people to be aware of the fact that our hobby exists and to be able to join in. We don't want to get the overlord. No, that sounds like work, and we're old men. We have no interest in it.
But see, on the same perspective, like with the same perspective, like growing the community for other people, but at the same time, it's also, there's so many facets to it. If you have, let's say, for example, you have people like ourselves that love Nerf or stuff like that. So you try to figure out how to monetize that, be part of the club at the same time. It's like, obviously, it's hard to do this full time because you probably need a full time job to pay for your life. Otherwise, all kinds of problems. So what I've seen at times and what I try to eliminate, or at least try not to foster happen, is that the community can be a small one. And so instead of trying to figure out how to dominate or corner the market in a small community so that you make money, because then it leads to some competition that I'm not a big fan of. And I don't want this to turn into like a money grab where it's like, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. So how do people make more money on it or include more? You expand it. So instead of trying to get 30, 40, 50, 60, 70% of your base, you can still hit 10, 20%. But instead of your original base being only 50,000 people, now it's 50 million people. And because you have that many more people, that means everybody can make money. Everybody can do something. At the same time, also from 50,000 people and some of the creative people that you have in this in terms of what they create, what they make, you're a great example of it. Now imagine you have 50 million people in it. It's just exponential in terms of how big it can get and what crazy things can happen so that more people have the experience, fun, and joy that we do. So that's also another facet to it. It's like, instead of trying to perfecting what we're doing is great, but at the same time, expansion, man, expand it, because there's so many wonderful, brilliant people out there that if they get in this, who knows which other direction they'll take us in, or the other amazing opportunities or things they'll make to make our lives even better.
Well,
That's great. Love it.
and one of the things that I really want to do more of, somebody already mentioned in one of the calls, is more collaborations. I mean, Al and I have been doing this for a while, and it started because I was staying at his place when I went to Maryland Mayhem, and we were bored one afternoon. Like, you want to do a live stream? Yeah, let's do a live stream. Now this is a thing. We've got you on our stream. That's really cool. And I already do stuff with Out of Darts every once in a while, with Walcom every once in a while, with Silver Fox, and with all of them. But I want to do bigger stuff. I've said it many a time, and I'll say it again. I would love to be in one of your videos, especially a zombie one, because there will be people who are like, oh my God, he got Captain Xavier. He's the king of HBZ.
I would like that too.
Because it'd be fun.
Send money to hashtag give money to send Cap to Canada.
I will fly myself to Canada. I have a passport. I haven't been put on a no-fly list yet.
All right, it's about that time, gentlemen. So first, before we sign out, Aaron, man, let people know who you are, where they can find you, and any other socials or whatever PR, whatever message. Well, where to find you, what's coming out, and your message to whoever's watching.
My name is Aaron Esser. You can find me on YouTube just at Aaron Esser, or you can also find me on TikTok or Instagram. Just searching Aaron Esser should be the first one to pop up. Do my zombie series right now, and lots of other videos coming out. So if you like any Nerf gun game videos, Super Soaker videos, zombie videos, lots coming out, more to come. Hopefully do a World War II zombie series this fall, so stay tuned for that. And just like everything, video games meet Nerf blasters, and that's my whole thing. If you like video games, you like Nerf, and come check out my channel.
Oh, I guess the other thing, and so then also for those watching, and just be aware, because sometimes when Aaron does like the modded blaster, he puts out the request for people to send him stuff. So if you're an up-and-coming or you want the exposure and stuff like that, Aaron's awesome like that. It's because of people like Aaron that I get my chance to show what I do, and he does it not for everyone. So don't be knocking at his door and sending him a bunch of stuff. But pay attention and follow him, because then he'll put the call out when he's like, you know what, I'd like to do it. And so it's opportunity. So don't forget to look for that when that happens.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'm not sure how I'll do it again in the future, but I would like to do that. So that'd be great.
Send it to Captain Xavier, because he might get free stuff, and then he'll organize it and send it to Aaron.
Yeah.
There you go.
We'll send it to Cap, and then for when he comes for the zombie video, then he can just bring it all.
Yeah. Save on shipping. It'll be great.
There we go.
My first luggage is free, and I'll bring the big trunk.
There we go.
There are a lot of really cool designers and developers for building blasters in this community. It's nuts. I mean, like, do you know anything about Warhammer 40K?
No idea. Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, I've got the bolter on that side. I've got a bolter on this side. Space Marine weapons. I've got alien stuff. I've got stuff from video games, from movies, from just it's amazing what people do.
All right. on that note, ladies and gentlemen, Aaron, man, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you
For
for
those
having me.
watching at home, again, thanks for tuning in. WorldFoamAlliance.org. Don't forget to go register. World Foam Alliance YouTube channel, which you are watching. Don't forget to share and like the page, man. The more you share, the more you like, the better we do, the bigger reach we have, yada, yada, yada. You get it, man. We're not becoming millionaires off this. We're just doing what we're doing because this is fun. We love you. Hopefully you all tolerate us. So this is a working relationship. Coming up next week, we do have the Foam Zone back with Andrew, a.k.a. Dark Sweep. I'm sure he has someone lined up. I'm not sure who it is, but either way, you will find out. Side note, I forgot to mention, I'm going to be in Scotland. I leave for Scotland next Thursday, and I will be all over Scotland for about a week. If you're there, let me know, and we'll meet up. I'm doing a whole church choir tour thing. But anyways, next Wednesday, Foam Zone, and then also Captain Xavier, the range is next week, not tomorrow, correct?
Yes.
Or is it tomorrow?
Haven't filmed it yet.
Because we took a week off, so the schedule is all off. The range will be
Yeah.
coming at some point soon.
But the schedule is completely sideways. I don't remember. We switched it once, and now I think we've switched it again. And these live streams was how I was remembering when I needed to take my trash out, and now I have no idea when the garbage man comes.
Anyways, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thanks again for watching. We will see you all again soon, man. I hope you all have a great week. Be good to one another. Have fun, man. And don't forget, get off my lawn.